Welcome back to Life and Style. It's Inspiration Thursday, and the Tendai, our magician, will show us so many things. But right now, we are on Motivate, and we've got Dr. Reverend Mugambi, who's also the Executive Director of the National Christian Youth Network, to share with us his story to try and motivate someone out there today. Welcome to Life and Style, Reverend Mugambi.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
It's such a delight, Mwikali.
And you're the first person who's told me Happy New Year.
Oh, yes. A very Happy New Year 2017. Oh,
Absolutely.
it's great things for us.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year to you too. And
Thank
you've been
you.
doing great things. But before we talk about the great things that you've been doing, especially for the youth, because I've been part of the group of people who've been touched by your ministry in my past growing up.
Wow.
So we're going to be talking about that later on. But right now, though, just take us back to where it all began, to the person that you've become right now.
Oh, yes. I thank the Lord that I had a very good background to start with, born in a very Christian family. My dad is a retired Methodist bishop. Is Bishop Jeremiah Muku. And my mom, Alice, she really loves the Lord. She is a staunch Christian. I believe after she knows your name, the next thing she asks you is, are you saved? Do you know the Lord? And we grew up in such an environment that we had to read the Bible, we had to pray, we had to fellowship. I have two sisters and one brother, and each of us had a day when they had to lead the fellowship at home. So I could say that an altar of Jesus Christ was raised from where I was at home. Absolutely. And in that, I was able to accept Christ as my Savior at a very young age and walk with the Lord all through. And I would say after I schooled in Kenya, I had an opportunity to work with the young people, and I had a passion to do the youth ministry. And I had also an opportunity to work with the National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK, for some time before I left for US. And God opened great door for me to train in youth ministry and also to pursue theology. So I was able to pursue a diploma in youth ministry, and then a degree in Christian ministry, and a master's in theology, and then to crown it all,
you just
PhD.
acquired the doctorate right there. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank the Lord.
And all of this, it must be you worked relentlessly to get to where you are.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's not been easy. There have been ups and downs.
Oh, yes.
Maybe you can focus on what you wanted to do when you finished your schooling. Did you want to get into the ministry, or did you even try to get employment elsewhere?
Actually, when I was growing up, I was very mechanical. Anything breaks up at home, when it breaks down, they just call on me. The fridge is not working, and I fix it. The lights are not working, I fix. So I was so much thinking of engineering. And when I got the calling to go into ministry, I knew that God wanted me there full time. So that's why you see that I didn't go any other way. I was having a choice, either to obey the calling of the Lord or, like Jonah, run away, but God will still catch up with you, because you'll never find peace until you come to the calling. And at times, people may think because my dad is a bishop, I just tapped from that and ran with this. But
Well,
if
some people
it
would
was
think
that easy, all my other siblings would have also become ministers. It's very personal. You have to hear God calling you into this ministry, or else if you call yourself, you will definitely have issues to deal with, because when you don't have the grace of God in what He has called you to do, there'll be a lot of struggle, a lot of strife, other than you blossoming and definitely growing in what you are doing. You'll find that you are stagnated, or you are not going where you ought to be.
You seem to have quite
Yeah.
the will and zeal and focus
Yes.
towards whatever it is that you wanted to do from a very, very young age.
Yes.
But what would you say are some of the things that, you know, of course, you'd feel like this is not working out.
Yeah.
Why is God forsaking me at this point? But
Yes.
what are those things that kept you in line, in focus,
Yes.
to attain the goals that you've achieved today?
I would say that you have to keep your eye focused on the goal and what you want to achieve, because a lot of distractions come along the way.
Yeah.
Like they tell a story of a man who got out and he was a hunter. He said, today I have to bring down an elephant. But when he went out there, he found a gazelle and he started chasing the gazelle. Later, he lost the gazelle and started chasing a rabbit. And in the end of the day, he was hunting a mosquito. And don't get your eye off the ball.
Yeah.
Make sure that what God has called you to pursue. And you'll find even people who win the Nobel Peace Prize. They do one thing, but they do it real well.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, know the purpose and the calling in your life. Then pursue it to the fullest.
Yeah.
Don't you let any distractions come along the way. And I would say many times I would find an opportunity that looks so good and I would want to run after it, but it wouldn't work. And I would be so mad and say, God, why did you let us blow this opportunity? And God said, that was not meant for you. It looked good in your eyes, but
Yeah.
not in my eyes. So let us remember his ways are not our ways. As the word tells us, as high as our heavens from the earth, so are his ways from our ways.
True that.
And if everybody got to know the purpose God has for their life, they would pursue it without struggling. Because the day we are in today is the only day of the calendar. Once you turn it, it's not coming back to you again. So don't live your life like you are rehearsing.
You know, I'm
Leave
feeling
it out.
terrible. I should have carried my notebook over here and was scribbling pointers to take home with me. Wow,
Yes,
okay.
every day once it's gone, it's not coming back
It's
again.
true.
And the way you have lived it, it means that day is gone. So I feel for those people who pursue what they do because they want a paycheck at the end of the month, which really to make ends meet you need. But do you subject your life to misery so that you can make ends meet? I've seen people who get a less paying job, but they are a lot happier than when they were getting the fat check because they are doing what they love doing.
Absolutely. They say if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
you know, you deal with the youth quite a lot.
Yes.
And that's where I come in because you
Wow.
started something. You started a forum. And
Yes.
until a few minutes ago, I did not know that this is the man behind that. And it was the
Yes.
only way probably I'd get permission from my parents
Oh,
to go
yeah.
out at night when I was in high school.
Yeah.
It was called Jesus Nights.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that and how you came about to do that for the youth.
Actually, when I came from US and I was passionate about the young people, and I realized that a lot of the young people are seeking to have a good time out there.
Yeah.
They are full of energy, their adrenaline is kicking, and you're just telling them to be confined in their rooms. And another young person from the neighborhood is talking how great a night they had at Carnival, at F2, and it wouldn't make much sense to them. Then God really put it on my heart to start an event where the young people could come and have a Christian rave where they can have their fun.
That was Jesus night for sure.
That was the Jesus night.
That was Jesus night
It was
for
like
sure.
a Christian disco.
Yes, it
and
was.
What came out of it is nothing that I expected, because we started in a restaurant in town at Utari House on mezzanine floor. It was the former Home Park restaurant, Jeddah, Africa. It had been taken my two brothers, James and David. And they accepted the offer that we could do this, and it was exciting. I called Rafton. Back then, I didn't know even there were Christian DJs. And I believe DJ Neves called me and told me, when the young people listen to Rafton and to the band, what will they do the rest of the night? I said, I am yet to figure that out. He said, we are DJs. Can we come on board? I said, this is a gospel thing. He said, there is gospel DJ. And that's how I brought them on board as Badrika DJs. Later they changed to Spin Rate. And now even more, they have grown to System Unit. And Sadiq is with the Genius Entertainment. So I've seen a lot come out of this. I remember the first time Jimmy Gate came to Jesus Night and was brought by Paul Mukoma. I said, I have a young man, I believe, just give him one chance. Nobody knew Jimmy Gate. And boy, when he came up there, he mesmerized the people. It was so good.
He's still doing that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He has got a great talent, and I'm glad it's growing in the Lord. And I'm sure happy that we give a lot of the young people a chance and a platform to give their talents and to give glory to God. And I always made sure I told them, the talent will put you on top, but your character is what will sustain you up there.
Absolutely, I love that.
Totally.
Totally.
Oh, yes, yes.
Totally. Now, let's talk about the National Christian Youth Network.
Yes.
What does it do for the youth, and how long has it been going on?
Oh, yes. The National Christian Youth Network, it's an NGO geared towards helping the young people realize their dreams in life. And we meet the youth holistically.
Okay.
We would say economically, socially, spiritually, and all around. In some of the things we are doing is having entrepreneurs forums where we are inviting keynote speakers who would share with the young people on how they can start up businesses and sustain them. And also, you know, there's not much information out there on how they can register, how they can have a company, how to get even into these tenders that the government has been talking about, how they can tap into the ways of art and all that. So we look for people who are able to bring those things to them in a way they can understand. And you know, we are not such a reading culture. And I'm sorry to say that.
It's so sad.
It's
but thank
really,
God for
really
Catherine
sad.
Mwangi, we're trying to change that.
Thank God for Catherine.
Yes.
She's really great.
Yeah.
And I believe she will make headways in getting the Kenyan population, and especially the youth, become readers. Because even when I take flight, I am so amazed. As Africans are seated, they are looking at the magazines, but you see the Muzungus always have a book.
Absolutely, and that is exactly what life and style is about, you know.
Yeah, so a lot of us have to get our information passed from whoever knows to you orally.
Absolutely.
But a lot of that information is there in print, but very few tap into that. So the speakers we have had over the time have done a good job. To mention a few, we have had Irene Murithi with the PDI. We have had George Washuri, Optivin, and we even had one time MC Jesse from Churchill, my brother, and Kingston from CITAM, the head of media there. And we have seen them do a great job in impacting the lives of the young people.
When you talk about the young people who join the Christian National, the National Christian Youth Network, what ages are we talking about, and how do they get in touch? Like, how do you vet who is ready to come in, and do they have to be Christians?
Yes.
These are some of the questions that probably will pop up at the end of this conversation.
That's a very good question. And I know we are called to the Christian young people, but we are also called to reach out to even the others who are not Christians. And that means the non-believers as well as of other faith. But our main prerogative and goal is to see that the young people who are from age 18 to 35 are really looked after. We are not discriminatory or segregative in any way. In a sense, we would really love to see the whole of Kenyan youth come, we work together. But I know that it may be such a big dream. As the Chinese say, journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
Now, that brings me to something very, very unique to the youth of this day.
Yeah.
Because the youth of this day want to make it now.
Yes.
I've just finished school, but I want my money now. So most of the times they end up taking shortcuts or losing the hope, losing the focus, losing their faith. What are some of the habits that the youth should change now to get them to get to the point where they need to be or where they're purposed to be?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question, because usually we call this a microwave generation. Yes. They watch Hollywood movies and it says everything should be resolved in the next 2 hours because that's how long a movie is. But I believe the young people really need a lot of patience. It's a fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
And you have to hear stories of those who are successful and how long they waited. It wasn't magic. And that's why I say even the prosperity gospel, as good as it may sound, the preacher needs to hammer home that there is a journey you have to walk.
True.
And you don't have to sow a seed today and tomorrow everything is blossoming. And those are the testimonies we want to hear. I saw a seed here and I was driving a Range Rover house tomorrow. And that flashy life is out there. Again, that is where corruption stems from. Because you want to make quick money, nobody wants to know the story of how you made it. They just want to see what you have done. And that's a culture we really need to rid off so that we could raise a young people who respect hard work and honesty and integrity, because those are the key issues that will, and the pillars that will bring this nation forward. Or else we will be talking and talking, and it will all be rhetoric. It will not make a difference. As we say, actions speak a lot louder than the words.
True.
So talk is one thing, but are you willing to walk the walk?
Yep.
So we need role models and mentors like Mwikali, who could tell these young people, I did not just start shining on KTN overnight. I had to take this journey. We need a Pastor Mugambi. When you call him Reverend Dr. Mugambi, he can share a story. It didn't happen overnight. It has been years of struggle, studying and looking for fees and doing all kinds of things to make this happen. So I believe that the culture of make overnight millionaires needs to die now, and then teach the young people the right thing to do. And our leaders need to pick the cue from here. And when they come in office, let's know how they came. And when they are leaving office, or while they are still in office, keep check of how they have advanced so fast. Because we really all want to be in politics today, since you can make a quick buck there. But how it is made, we cannot say that the end justifies the means.
True.
So our young people need to look into this very seriously, not admire those people who are making that quick buck the wrong way.
Absolutely.
But let us highlight, and even as media, highlight the stories of those who have walked the walk and they have made it through the right means, and God is glorified at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have to bring this conversation to an end.
Thank
but
you.
before that, I'd like to know at what point of, I won't talk about the child because they're taken care of.
Yeah.
When they start making decisions for themselves.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about a young person who's already finished campus and is looking to make money now.
Yes.
At what point should we start dramming in this information so that they get to a point, they grow up actually with this kind of knowledge that I have to, take time and build up to whatever it is that I want to do.
I believe what is needed more than anything is from very young age, you hook up this child with a mentor. Many children, you see, even if you bring children up here on KTN, you ask them, when you grow up, what would you like to be? So if a child says, I would like to be a journalist, and you know there is a good journalist like Mwikali, who is walking upright, you could recommend that child be mentored by such, so that you keep doing the right thing and they see it. Take time to hang out with that child, because we have to go back to our African belief. It takes a village to raise a child.
True.
And if we want godly children, it won't happen overnight. Talk is one thing, but they need to see really Mwikali is walking that talk.
Absolutely.
It's like a parent who says, do not smoke.
And they're smoking.
And they're smoking.
And they're smoking.
So that child will be like, if it's so bad as you tell me,
then why are you doing it?
Why are you doing it? So
Very
if
true.
we talk about corruption is bad and tell our young people how bad it is, and we are doing it day in, day out, you are with that young person and you are flagged down by a cop and you pull over and they point the mistakes on your car and you say, officer, nisamee. And he says, twende station.
Yeah.
And you say, ni nini unataka? And somebody tells me, you use even the Bible, there's a verse that says, finish with one before you get to court. You know, people can use the Bible verses to favor them in whatever they want to do.
Yes.
But that young person who was with you, no matter how much you tell them corruption and bribery is bad,
Yes.
they have seen you do it
Absolutely.
in their presence.
Yeah. And even if you don't tell them it's bad,
Yes.
they do not know it's bad.
They do not know it's bad.
Yeah.
It's a culture that we have accepted.
For them, it's not good or bad. It's just something that happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if I want to get myself out of problems,
Yes.
I just need to talk nicely to.
Yes.
Basically corruption.
That's corruption. And we'll blame the police all we want.
Yes.
But that's how it is.
Yeah.
But remind everybody, and our young people especially, to seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness.
Absolutely.
And all these other things will
Shall
be added.
unto you.
I know that verse may not make any sense, human sense at all, but it has every spiritual sense. When you start pursuing God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, you'll find your things falling in place, and you'll keep wondering, how did this happen? I really wanted to pursue this so bad,
Yes.
but it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
But the time I turned over to God, I had a lot of peace, and it happened without so much struggle. I believe that is the key verse
Absolutely.
we have to look into day in, day out. Yeah.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Now, maybe people would like the youth out there, you give an opportunity for them to get into the National Christian Youth Network. How can they do that?
Oh yeah, they can go to our website, is www.ncyn.co.ke.
Just say that again.
NCYN, www.ncyn.co.ke. So once they log in there, there is where they can definitely fill in the form to become part of the NCYN. They can also get to us on either Facebook, Instagram. It's all there on the internet once they log into our website.
Asante
Yeah,
sana.
and I
It's
believe.
been a pleasure.
Oh, it has been great, Mwikali. Thank you so much.
There you have it. All the young people out there now, you know, you have to do your time first. Do not be carried away with the microwave generation.
Oh, yeah.
Do your time and fulfill the purpose that you were created for. We're taking a very short commercial break. Remember to keep this conversation going on our social media platforms, KTN Life and Style on Facebook, KTN Life _Style on Twitter and Instagram. SMS is 22840. Remember, we have amazing giveaways from Linton's, and all you have to tell us is, what is that one thing that really inspires you? The hashtag is KTN Life and Style, hashtag Inspiration Thursday. We'll be right back with Catherine Mwangi with books and blogs and Restaurant of the Week later on. Don't go too far.
Faith is a journey that you take into the invisible and get a picture into your imagination, and it becomes part of your system until that becomes concretized